All right, guys, Sam here with you, midday Tuesday, January 19th. And second up, per our members' request, as we poll our members to determine what we're going to trade. I have the euro yen. Now, just before we dig into it, just a reminder, please, if you're interested in this methodology and what we do here, think about following us over on Twitter. We do a lot of promotion and some contests there where we're going to test your skills, but also you'll find there access to our public Discord. So we have the membership Discord. But a lot of times people are like, well, I'm kind of interested in that, but I'd like to get a look at it first or just get a feel for what's in there. So we've set up these public channels where you can kind of just do that, kind of get a sampling and interact with us a bit and see what it's like. For our members, at least you'll have access to some of the content there. And if you like what you see here, then you can become a full member and get complete access. So it's Trade Devils. Trade Devils is the handle on Twitter. Hopefully we will see you over there. Okay, with that said, I'm here in the, I've got the euro yen rolling now. So the other thing I should mention here, I've mentioned this in the last video here. Now, those of you that are crypto traders that are used to seeing crypto analysis here, we used to divide it up into two channels. Now we're just combining the channels. And the reason for that is because I want you to see that this methodology is applicable to any asset, any chart, any time frame. It doesn't matter if it's crypto, if it's the Dow, if it's Forex, gold, soybeans, lean hogs, cattle, crude. It doesn't matter. So if you don't like what you're seeing in crypto right now, I want to encourage you to consider diversifying into other assets. Right? You go where there's volatility, where the price is moving technically. This example here I'm going to give you, it's going from, well, let's see, we'll go from February was the pivot here. There's 5 or 6 perfect, perfect algo trades in here. It's just textbook stuff, right? This is a lot of volume here. This is traded by the algos. Well, all of Forex is, but this is a particularly prominent one, and I'll show it to you. So we don't even need to do any Elliott wave. Now I do have an Elliott count over here, but before we even get into that, there are so many trades in here. I actually probably can't find them all here. So just swing low, swing high. All right, so there's that one. Okay, so here. Boom, here's algos. They go right to target and actually get through and almost make second target, right? So second target is down here. They don't quite get there. But that, now, note here. So you've got the swing high, swing low. Here's the 50. Here's the reaction. But then you got a chance to add here. So look from here. So from this, as they'll often do, here's our next pivot. All right, so do you see it here? So we go from, here's the next 50 to the tick. Here's the first reaction. At the first target, second reaction, they get all the way to third target. Algos get paid. All right, so they've got 2 in a row there. So we've got the big one here. They already got that. Then we've got the second one here, went to second target. I mean, then I just digging through here. They're all over the place. So coming back the other way, here's the golden zone to target. Oh God, there were so many of them here. I have to remember. Here's one. Right, 50, just shy of the target. Often they'll front run those targets. So here's your entry. Here's just shy of the 233, just shy of that target by a few ticks, but they got paid there. God, you know, there's so many of them here. Well, but now we can go over to here. So I showed you this one here. So this was perfect. So we've got, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 algos. Trading here, so let's go dig into here. So I just showed you this one, so this was perfect. Now it looks like we have the potential here for a trend change. So I'm going to go down. Let's go down to the hourly. Now in Forex, I would encourage you to stay hourly at a minimum. Once you get down into the 15-minute below that, it gets very squirrely. A lot of volatility, much harder to trade it there. So I would encourage you to look longer term. So the shortest time frame that I'll use for trading Forex is 60-minute here. So, but we can see here we get a nice 1, 2. Well, so you look here, it looks like we've got a truncated fifth, but I do have my 2 to my 3, so I can check here. So what do we get there? 2 to the 3. Well, we go right to the 50. Now this falls short of the target. Right, so just because the target's there, they don't always make it, but certainly nice trade here. There's plenty of opportunity here. So looking here, so from that 2 to that 3, then we'd be looking, well, if I've got a completed 5-wave structure, I'm going to pull from my swing low to my swing high. What do? Right to the golden zone. Right, so here was the prior 1. You caught a little structural support here, prior resistance offering that support. We break it, so we know we've completed now this 5. So I get a little ABC. We're right to golden zone, and we've got a target up here. So this is a contender now for the start of a new trend. So potentially a 1, a 2, and then we'd be going 3, 4, and 5. Let's get that into a higher degree here. So we've got a contender here for a 1, 2. So annoying how it does that. Okay, there's 1. I got a nice little ABC into my 2. Right to golden zone. Couldn't be better. So, of course, if I've got that, if I've got those 3 pivots, if I allow for that, then I've got my golden corner pocket. Let's see if I'm right in there. If you move these around. So let's get it right on that low. So you can see here we come right. As this is why you use the golden zone, because they run the stops. That all the people that put their stops just under the 618, they all get stopped out and they go, I know, I don't, what happened? And then it rips away. Well, that's what happened. They run the stops. That's why you have to use the 65, 618. Here's the golden zone right into it, just as you'd expect. So moving back out. So what do I have here? I have a potential golden corner pocket, meaning that the probability, if that low holds, of getting to this median line, we don't know when we get there. We get there here, here, here. You've got 8. That's the best odds in trading right there. 80% probability. Where else in the market do you get that? Well, that's a rhetorical question, because the answer is nowhere. So that is, could be here. So what you don't know, all you know from the time element that you get with median lines is that you're going to, at some point, you have high probability of making the median line. Could be here, could be, but what will often happen, you'll hit the median line and that'll just be a bounce before you go back, that kind of a thing. So you'll get those kind of reactions as it moves within. I gotta click here to get that to stop. So you'll get these reactions as you stay, as those median lines give you the structure of the market. So I should say the geometry of the market. So if I move this all over here, now this is all hypothetical. I'm not telling you that's where it's going. But if this low holds, this is the trade right here to the median line. And again, I'm hypothetical. I don't know when it gets there. I'm just saying that that's your high probability trade right there if this holds. So you can be long right now with a stop under the 65. There's no reason not to take that. I don't know where it will be when you watch this video, but for my members, they'll have this shortly. That's what we do. We release these to the members as soon as they're done. Then we typically put them out to the public about 5:30 in the afternoon. Then they'll end up on YouTube. So if we pull that off of that, so 1, 2, we know potentially now if we're going to get a good 3, that's a contender for the 1, 6, 1, 8. That's our high probability zone. So if we're going to get a big 3 out of this and we're going to go impulsive, right? Well, there's our target for our third. Now we don't know when it gets there. Oh, Jesus, come on. That's what I'm trying to get. So you might have something along those lines, 3, 4, and 5. This is our 1, 6, 1, 8. That's our shorthand version. Right? So I've shown you guys many times, I can take the length of my 1 projected from my 2, and we see the 1, 6, 1, 8 will be very close to the negative 100. Right? So that's my target for my 3rd, 4, and 5. So it's plenty of opportunity to be a buyer down here. Pretty juicy target. Well, what would that end up being? So let's just say you're a buyer there, and we get that third, 12 to 1, euro yen, pays pretty well. That would be a hell of a trade. So again, it's not guaranteed. There are no guarantees, but you have a contender here. So the slightest little retrace here is an opportunity to buy that with that kind of upside. 12 to 1 in the FX market on the euro yen. You could make your whole trading year right there. They're all over the place, right? Does it trade technically? Are algos in here? Well, I think we've demonstrated that. I think it's fairly clear that you've got, now keep in mind, right? So it's not just blue sky here, because you're going to have resistance coming back, because if I go swing high to swing low, get right in there, here's the 50 on the way back. So you got to remember that you're going to hit that resistance, because there'll be an algo written to sell that with a target down here. So they're looking for that to come down and get this target. So just because this sets up doesn't mean it must go there. Right? If for whatever reason you could hit this 50, come back down here. Now, if it did that, we'd still have a contender for a second wave. This wouldn't change. We'd have to redraw some of this, right? So this would if that were to happen, then we're doing this. Right now we have a new pivot. If that holds, the odds stay the same. If we were to hit this pivot at the 50, come down, hit that algo target, we still have a contender for a 1-2, right? So 2 can be the 786, often, very often does. So if we come down and hit that, then I set up. Now I don't have a golden corner pocket, but I have a corner pocket nonetheless. So from that pivot, if that pivot holds, 80% probability of making the median line. We don't know where, but often you'll see something like that. Right, and then you're going like that. So that's what sets up there. I'd be watching this now as I sit here at the 1 hour. A little retracement here would be a nice spot to be an entry because your stop is so close. Just I'd be, I wouldn't be just a tick on the other side of the 65. I'd give it a little room for the. Often in FX you'll get these wicks where they're running stops. So I'd give it a little more breathing room. You have to do it in FX because of the stop running here. So I'd give it a little bit beyond that 65, but then you put it on, let it roll, see what happens. Right, that's all you can do, right? But that's very good probability here. So I think you absolutely have the opportunity to be a buyer here, stop just underneath it, let it roll. Maybe a partial if you're going to get to the median line, come back and revisit that. If we get to the median line, we don't know when, but if we do get to the median line, then that might be a place for a partial profit. Maybe you take all of it off and then wait for the next retracement to load and roll again. Pretty straightforward. It's not a complicated count. Very technical. Algos all over the place. So what are you doing? So the first question is, what did the algos do last? Well, we can see what they did last. Right? They'll buy it and they'll keep defending that until it breaks. All right, guys, that should give us enough there. That's not a very complicated one. All right, just a reminder, if you're interested in this kind of technical methodology where we're combining, algo polls, market geometry, and Elliott wave, well, you can certainly learn. That's what we teach you. That's what our Discord's all about, and you can learn more about that at tradedevils.com. That's our website, tradedevils with an S. Or give us a follow over on Twitter, and you can get access to the public Discord where you can kind of get a sampling of what we're all about. All right, guys, with that, I'll call it a wrap for the day, and we'll catch up with you later.